Hi, and welcome to our video on replacing the keyboard in the Panasonic Toughbook CF-T8 laptop. First thing we're going to do is remove the battery, and we're going to make sure this laptop is unplugged. Once we've done that, I'm going to remove the bottom strap, and I'm going to whiz through the screw removal here. And once we've done that and we have this strap removed, we'll then remove a few screws on the bottom of the laptop that's holding the keyboard down. Now I made one minor mistake on this one. There's an additional screw that you have to remove on the bottom, which I'll get to later. So once you have these three screws removed, like so, we will then remove the hard drive and the hard drive caddy. Now I'm just using some old video on our hard drive removal, so you still see the strap there, but the process of removing this is the same. Once you've removed these three screws, you actually have to open the laptop up and remove the screw right in the center above the keyboard, right there. Once you've done that, that hard drive caddy cover, the cover on this hard drive, will slide slightly to the left, and you'll just pull it right up. There it is. Hard drive isn't screwed down in any way. You simply lift it out. Be careful of the cable, and you unplug it. And the hard drive is therefore removed. So once we've done that, there's some little plastic stickers that cover some clamps that are holding the keyboard down. And I'm going to zoom in here after a couple of these so you can see exactly how it's done. And that little plastic sticker can be a little stubborn to remove, but it's simply to, I guess, keep dirt out of the area. So here's a zoom in, and basically I'm just using a flathead screwdriver to kind of edge my way up on this plastic cover. Alright. My fingers are a little too big for the job. And then to get the clip out, you simply lift up the back and then push it out. And that's really all there is to it. And this is the final clip. This one gave me a little trouble. There we go. Put that on the side, and now I'm going to simply lift the clip up and pull it out. So this is that extra screw I was telling you about. This screw on the one side needs to come out in order for that keyboard to lift up, as well as this screw as well. So there's two additional screws that need to come out before we get that keyboard out. But once out, the keyboard itself, and this one's broke, lifts right up. Now there's some two-sided tape on the other, that's holding this keyboard down. And I'm going to show you where I don't know if it's the same on every unit, but you can see it right there. Make sure you don't tear that ribbon cable when you lift the keyboard up. Now this plastic tape here was rather stubborn, and it's attached to the ribbon cable that connects to the system board, and I guess it's important to be well secured, but it's a very difficult connector to disconnect and reconnect. It's got a little sliding clip, so you'll slide the clip towards you. And I'm using a flathead screwdriver because my fingers are just too big to get in there. Just be careful not to break it. There we go, and that ribbon cable should lift right out. Now, one thing I'll warn you about this keyboard, it's very flexible and can bend very easy. You can see where it's bent on this one that I pulled out. Now this one is done for, And you can see where that two-sided tape is. I'm pointing out between the keys where mine is. Perhaps yours is around the same area. Alright, so now we're going to replace the keyboard with a brand new one. And I actually pulled this keyboard off another unit that had other problems. So we got to get that ribbon cable back into the connector. And I'm using a little screwdriver to kind of guide it. It can be really difficult. But once I have it in there, you'll feel it touch the back end of that connector. You just push the little clip forward, and now it's connected. So now I'm just going to reattach the plastic tape so I get a good seal. And that tape is very sticky, so should be able to easily reseal it. So like I'm going to warn you on this keyboard again, make sure you're careful with the good one, because that keyboard is very flexible and you will bend it and pop those keys right off of this keyboard. It's almost like a thin piece of cardboard. Not well made at all. So now I'm just sealing it down, and what we're going to do next will be just replace the clips. And you actually have to kind of use two hands and push on the keyboard so you can get the clip close to the connector. And you're basically just snapping it back in. And I'll zoom in here so you can see. The only problem is I didn't center this video, but you get the idea here on putting these clips back in. And I'm just using my other finger to push the keyboard up so I have enough clearance to put the clip in. And once the clips are in, I'm going to just replace that plastic tape that was covering them. And it's not required to do. I suggest that you do it just to keep the dirt out. Mine didn't seem to have a problem resticking. And then once we've done that, there's just a few screws to replace and replacing the hard drive caddy. Here I'm reconnecting the hard drive. Now, when you're replacing the hard drive cover, there's a total of 4 screws. 2 of them are just slightly longer than the other 2. So what you want to do is to understand that the longer screw goes in the battery bay compartment, and the other longer screw goes on the center right above the keyboard when you open it up. And I'm not going to bore you with screwing in the screws, but this is one of the long screws. Here's now I'm replacing the 5 screws that we removed from the bottom, if you recall. Once we have those replaced, whoops, I put it in the wrong hole, there you go. And the final 5th screw right there. Alright, have that all replaced. Now I'm going to replace that slightly longer screw for the hard drive caddy. Goes right in the center, right above the keyboard. Just as so. And your keyboard is now secure. We're going to now replace the rubber strap that you use to carry the laptop around It's not necessary to replace. I've replaced it on here. And once again, I'm not going to bore you with a screw replacement. We'll whiz right through this. And the only thing left after this is replace the battery. So if this video helped you out at all, I hope you hit that like button right below the video, thumbs up. And if you'd like to see the various videos that we post, subscribe to our channel. We're always posting new and different repairs on different laptops. There's the battery. And that is how to replace the keyboard in the Panasonic Toughbook CF-T8. Thanks for watching.